Welcome into La Familia Mista Week 12 Fantasy Football Breakdown, where there were no close matchups in Week 12. Not one, bunch of blowouts. Step your game up, people. We'll get right into it with the first matchup, and that's Bijan Mustard, myself, with a big win against a God Amon Man. 110-79. Whooping. Thanks for playing, Dom. You tried. But number one here, keeping it rolling. 25 points from Bijan, 20 from Derrick Henry. And Kyler Murray got me 20. Good start by me. Dom got 14 points from Amon and 15 from Waddle, but Purdy only got him 10, and Prater, his kicker, went -1. Can't win games that way. Moving on to the next matchup, and let me tell you guys something this week. Usually I mix up the games, but I am going New York first because guess what? The matchups in New Jersey are wild. The playoff picture in New Jersey is crazy. It's heating up over there. New York, we're just battling for positioning. New Jersey's getting crazy. Anyway, moving to the next matchup, and that is Team Stingo versus Buckle Up Buttercup. And Paul came through with the big victory. I appreciate you, big dog. 110-101. Paul shaking it up for Joey. Paul got 23 points from Isaiah Pacheco, 20 points from Josh Jacobs, and 15 points from his 49ers defense. Joey was led by a one-man wrecking crew of Josh Allen with 39 points in that overtime thriller with the... Who'd they play? Whoever they played on Thursday. Montgomery and Kamara had 15 and 14 respectively, but -1 from the Lions defense, and that really hurt Joey. Moving on to the next matchup, and cooking and mixing. Beat up on Team Ilucci, and again, I appreciate you, big dog. 121-112. James has Vinny's number. James is putting 2 wins in a row. Watch out for him. He says he's not trying to win this loser's bracket. As a matter of fact, what James said to everybody in the league was something that I should have pressed earlier, but I don't care. He said, he's been here for years, rocking this league and blah, 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 blah. James got 32 points from Dak Prescott. And Najee Harris threw in 16. Vinny got 17 from Jacoby Myers, 15 from Sam Laporta, and 17 from Sam Howell. That is it for the New York side. Moving on to the New Jersey side where things are hot. Rock a Rooster. Back where he's comfortable. Back whooping up on the New Jersey side. Beating Megatron J. 114-95. Nico Collins led the way for him with 19 points, and Olave threw in 14 of his own. And guess what, everybody? Christian McCaffrey's still good at football. 28 points from Christian McCaffrey. My God, please stop that man. Jared got 34 points from Jalen Hurts and 20 from Hill. My God, it's got to hurt to have 2 of the best players in the league, and then the rest of your team is trash. He did get 19 points from Debo, but the rest of them just did not work. That was a tough loss for Jared, especially in the playoff picture. The leader of the family versus I'm a worker is next, and the leader of the family put a whooping on him, 131-84. Big win for Siobhan, puts her right back in the playoff picture. Huge loss for Matt. People are coming for him and really want him to lose so they could take that last playoff spot. Siobhan got 35 points from Kyren Williams in his first game back from the injury. Watch out for Kyren Williams. She also got 22 points from Evans and 19 points from Pollard, who is putting together 2 straight big games. Matt got 24 points from Trevor Lawrence and 21 from Jonathan Taylor, 16 from Diggs. Matt has a lot, like I said, he has a lot of people coming for that slot. He's got to shore it up, but he's going to be hurting because Jonathan Taylor got hurt. And more on that later. Moving on to my favorite matchup of the week, and that is Team Graham, as managed by Logan, versus Graham's team, the Homies. I know that seems a little confusing, but with 2 straight losses to Graham, Logan, your team name is Team Graham for the rest of the year. Big ups to Graham on a win, 121-63. Ouch. Graham got 21 points from Raheem Mostert, 20 points from Patrick Mahomes, solid performances everywhere else on his team. Logan got 2 players in double digits, and that's Baker Mayfield and CeeDee Lamb with 13 and 15 points respectively. Cannot win a game that way. Let's talk about those standings, all right? Like I said, the New Jersey side is hot. It's on fire. Homies on top with a 10-2 record, followed by Rocket Rooster with an 8-4 record. And then that third and final coveted playoff spot is held by Matt. I'm a worker with a 6-6 record, but there are players right behind him. Siobhan is there with a 5-7 records right behind him. Team Graham, a.k.a. Logan's team, right behind with a 5-7 record. And Megatron J right behind that with a 5-7 record. Guys, I want to make it clear, the tiebreaker, it's points scored. We could change that next year if we want, but right now, that's the way it's set up in ESPN, and that is the tiebreaker for everybody. Points scored is the tiebreaker. The New York side looks like this. My team is at 8-4 in the first place slot. Vinny's team is in the second place slot with a 7-5 record, and Joey's team is in the third place slot with a 7-5 record. The 3 players at the bottom slot, Dom, Paul, and James with a 4-8, 4-8, and 3-9 record. Guys, do not stop playing. It still matters where you are because you do not want a first round bye into an automatic second round game in the loser's bracket. You want to be playing in that first game. You want to get every opportunity to get a win. Moving on to the trade deadline, and it is done. It's passed. No more trades can be made in the league. But before that trade deadline popped, Siobhan and I actually made a mega trade. Siobhan sent Jamar Chase and Trey McBride to me for Brian Robinson Jr. and Jahmyr Gibbs. A lot of big names changed teams right there. Moving on to the free agent acquisitions of the week, and I went crazy. I spent $26 on Zach Moss, beating out Keenan's bid of $18. Zach Moss, I am hoping, is primed for a huge end-of-the-year run. Siobhan picked up Stafford and the Falcons' defense. Siobhan seems to be putting together this strategy of getting defenses facing the Jets. I don't like the strategy at all. Moving on, Joey and Graham picked up a defense and a kicker. And we will close it out with the next week's matchups. And the New Jersey side got some good ones. Jared versus Siobhan, fighting for that playoff spot. Whoever wins that game will be in a better position than they are this week. Keenan takes on Graham, fighting for the top spot of the league, which Keenan can still get if he beats Graham and wins next week, and Graham loses next week, depending on how many points are scored. That is a fight for a first-round bye. You want to try and win that game, both of you. Now, if Graham wins that game, he does not even need to play the last game. He's got the bye locked up. His record is great. Logan and Matt take on each other, and not only does Logan need to win to make the playoffs, but everybody in that bottom slot is rooting for Matt to lose. We shall see how that goes. On the New York side, I am taking on Joey, and we are battling for that first round bye. Joey really wants to beat me this week, I'm sure. I definitely want to beat him. Vinny is actually in second place, taking on Dom, and Vinny wants to get this win so he can stay in that picture for that first round bye. And finally, the matchup of Paul versus James. Like I said, it is important to fight it out in that game. You do not want a first round bye in the loser's bracket. You want to win games. That's it for me this week. Good luck in your matchups. I'll talk to you guys soon.